Belgian town of Spiennes is near Mons in the Hainaut province. The chalk subsoil at Spiennes dates back millions of years, the result of accumulated skeletons of microscopic organisms from the seabeds which covered the region at the time. It was in the middle of this layer of chalk that the silica-based flint formed. This soft mass was made up of the decomposed microorganisms which came to inhabit the spaces left by the burrows of crabs, caddisworms, even sea urchins. In the Tertiary period, the sea receded. And at the beginning of the Quaternary period, the plateau was covered with silt. The site attracted human activity very early on, with the receding water laying bare the layers of flint and the fertile alluvial deposits. Flint was the raw material used in all prehistoric tools, and so it was in fact in the Paleolithic Age, 300,000 years ago, that men first came to the site. At this time, only the surface flint was used, and it was only during the Neolithic Age, 4,000 years BC, that the site began to be properly mined. The silt was extracted at neighbouring Petit Spiennes by means of a series of wells, each of which was at least 8 metres deep. "5 metres down, the wells opened out into bell-shaped reception chambers, which cut through 3 layers of flint, each of which was mined in turn, the first only superficially. The other 2 layers were accessed from underground passages, which led off from each side of the chamber. Pillars were erected to support a ceiling. When one passage became too dark, it was abandoned and filled in with the rubble from the next one to be dug out.
Nous sommes au lieu dit Petit Spiennes et nous sommes dans une minière.
Here we are in a mine which forms part of a whole network at Petit Spiennes, a prehistoric mine which was 8 metres deep.
Qui descend, qui est creusé jusqu'à 8 ou 10 mètres de profondeur. L'ensemble des minières de Spiennes remonte grosso modo.
The network of mines at Spiennes goes back to about 5000 BC, a little before the beginning of the present era. The chalk is primarily made up of ancient seabeds, deposits which date back millions of years. In certain places on the walls, you can make out fossils, shells, fish teeth and sea urchins.
Sur les parois, encore apparaître des fossiles comme des coquillages, des dents de poissons, par exemple, des oursins. Et dans ces fonds marins, la silice qui était en suspension.
Down here, the silica was suspended in layers, which in turn produced the layers of flint we can now see. The mining done here was mostly done using tools also made of flint, and in fact you can actually make out the marks made by the picks on the wall here.
Les traces de ces pics.
The blocks of flint taken to the surface were trimmed down, and after that shaped into whatever form was required. In particular, the flint was used for making blades and axes. Blade making was a highly skilled craft. Involving a great deal of precise and highly dexterous work to form the concave surfaces necessary for making the blade.
J'ai préparé l'angle de rupture ici au niveau du talon. J'ai travaillé beaucoup avec mes doigts sur cette partie-là. Voilà.
Above all, it was essential to strike the blade at just the right point. This was where the main skill lay.
Sur le talon, ici, sur le plan de frappe. Et maintenant, je n'ai plus qu'à préparer le talon de la lame. Comme ceci. Voilà. Comme ceci. Voilà, petite concavité à nouveau sur le talon lui-même et je vais préparer mon talon sur cet éperon. Voilà, par aigrisage, par frottement. Voilà. Et maintenant, je cherche l'angle d'éclatement de façon très précise. Alors là, voilà, comme ceci. Elle est toute mignonne, toute gentille. Et ben maintenant, débrouille-toi pour frapper correctement, mon bonhomme. L'empêcher de vibrer avec les doigts. Un peu plus de poids.
The production of these blades,
Voilà.
which were used to scrape
Ça, c'est le
animal
produit qu'il fallait
hides,
chercher
or
après
set in
déterminer qu'il
wood
fallait
and
chercher à
used for
obtenir.
cutting grain,
Et ça,
or to make daggers, will undoubtedly have given rise to some sort of trade in the merchandise with the surrounding villages. The axes, the major tool of the Neolithic Age, and linked to a new, more settled way of life based around agriculture and animal rearing, were also made in Spiennes. In the last century, when the new railway line was being dug out, 25 wells were discovered at Spiennes. The site has been excavated on numerous occasions over the years. It has been listed by the Walloon region and is now home to an archaeological centre for mining research. This centre is now heading up an ambitious project to demonstrate to the public the extent of the flint mining industry and life in Neolithic times, and at the same time to offer a permanent research centre for universities in Belgium and internationally. Following a decision to build on the archaeological remains, new excavations are currently underway, led by the Mons division of the DGA-TLP, the excavation unit of the Ministry for the Walloon region, in partnership with a non-profit-making organisation. The wells have been divided up into 4 quadrants, and for the time being, only 2 non-adjoining quadrants are being excavated, in order to ensure that the contours of the structure are preserved. The excavation is being carried out in 20-centimetre steps. All the flint and the other objects are collected, and the earth is sifted so as not to lose even the tiniest fragment. A detailed drawing is made of the 20-centimetre step for each quadrant, and then the next 20 centimetres are excavated and sketched, and so on. 60 centimetres down, drawings are also made of the contours of the 2 non-excavated quadrants. After this has been done, the remaining quadrants are in turn excavated. The purpose of these drawings and recordings is to understand the process of digging out and filling in the wells.
Une couche de bleu.
Spiennes is one of the most beautiful archaeological sites in Europe, and its sheer size and the excellent state in which it has been preserved make it one of the most important examples of mining sites of the Neolithic Age.